What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today we are talking all about the new Holo Taco I Need Space collection. But before we get into that, if you haven't heard of Holo Taco before, they are a US based nail polish brand created by YouTuber Cristine of Simply Nailogical, and all of their polishes are 10 free, meaning they are free of 10 of the potentially harmful ingredients that can be found in nail polish. They are vegan, meaning they do not use any animal derived ingredients, and they're also cruelty free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. So like I said, I've got their I Need Space collection, which is 5 space themed specialty nail polishes. And I have to say, it's a really interesting color story for a space themed collection. Definitely not what I expected, but I do think it works with the theme. So I'm going to dive into the swatches first, then we can talk a little bit more about my thoughts on the collection. Then we can get into pricing, availability, all that good stuff. So roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today I'm using the Orly Bonder base coat. We'll start off with the shade Solo Mission. This is actually a beigey brown jelly base that is packed with different colors of iridescent flakies as well as a subtle hollow sparkle. Now I believe this is a newer formula to Holo Taco. I don't think I've seen it before, and I have to say I was very excited about this one. I think it's super stunning. I actually got full coverage in 2 coats. I do think this one ended up looking a little bit darker on me because I am very pale, but I still think it's a really beautiful shade. I love a shade that I would consider to be neutral, but it has an extra pop of sparkle or glitter or flakies, and I feel like this just fits the bill perfectly. So I would love to see this finish in other colors as well. Next up we have the shade I'm Rover It, which is actually my favorite of the collection. It's actually this really beautiful pinky red kind of base, but then we have this gorgeous golden orange iridescent shimmer running throughout, as well as a scattered hollow sparkle. And I thought this one was so stunning. It definitely looks like a Mars kind of nail polish. And again, I got full coverage in 2 coats. I do think that this one looks a lot more red in real life than it does look in the promo photos, but I actually prefer that because I love this juicy red. I think it's beautiful. And then when the light hits it, you can see that orangey gold color, and it's so stunning. Moving on, we have this shade Orbite Me, and this one is described as a burgundy, and this is in their crushed hollow formula, which is a formula that I absolutely love from them. So I was really excited to see a new color. So basically we do have this sort of brownish kind of shade, but it definitely has a purpley reddish undertone to it. It kind of reminds me of like Hershey's wrapper color. And again, it is just packed with hollow, so it's really beautiful. It's very smooth, which is nice for a polish that looks to be so glittery, but it just has a very easy, smooth formula. So another very nice one that I would love to see in different colors. Then we have the shade Waste of Space, which honestly I think might be the most unique polish that I have seen Holo Taco do so far. So again, was really excited about this one. This is actually a black jelly base, and then we've got a hollow sparkle running throughout, as well as blue and red iridescent flakies. So it's a really interesting mix. It honestly gives very galaxy vibes. I did find that it looked a little bit more brownish, even though it is that black base. And I started off with doing 2 coats, but I found it to be just a little bit more sheer. So I ended up applying a 3rd coat, and I did like it a lot better in that 3rd coat. I feel like it just got a little bit more intense, reminded me a little bit more of a cosmic night sky kind of vibe. But I do feel like the heavy red iridescence in here does make it feel a little bit warmer and a little bit more brownish. And finally, we have the shade Alien Infatuation. So this one is a gray base and is actually filled with a really beautiful iridescent green shimmer, as well as that subtle scattered hollow sparkle in there. It was pretty sheer on the 1st coat, but I did manage to get full coverage in 2, but I do have short nails, so if you have longer nails, you might need a 3rd for this one. But it is a very pretty shade. I love that high contrast shimmer in there, and again, it just kind of feels like a neutral with a little pop of something special. So here are all of the shades together. I have to say I really enjoyed them. I love the color scheme going on, and I really appreciate that even though all of the polishes are different finishes, they still work pretty nicely together, so I can still see myself doing a Skittle manicure of all the colors. Even the black, which I thought was going to be a little bit cooler toned, it had all of those warm iridescent red flakies in it, which I think kind of made it look a little bit more like brown, so I think it just feels a little bit more cohesive with the collection. So I really enjoyed that, but I really love loved all of the different finishes here, so let's talk a little bit more about that. So those are the polishes, and I have to say, I love when Holo Taco does these variety finish collections. One, because it feels like there's something for everyone, but two, and more importantly, in my opinion, I just love to see them branch out and try new finishes beyond the usual mainstream type of finish. So I always appreciate that, especially when the color story is really cohesive like this. Now, as far as the colors of this collection, I was definitely surprised because I did think that it was going to be a little bit more in like the cooler tones, but I actually really did enjoy these. The colors gave me a little bit more of like a Mars vibe specifically, just like the reddish brown kind of coloring definitely reminded me of like a dusty desert kind of planet, and it also really matches my vibe recently, so I actually really enjoy it. So now let's get into pricing and availability. All of these polishes are available exclusively on the Holo Taco website. They come in 12 milliliter bottles, and they do have the wide flat brush that has a rounded tip, which I am so pleased about. I'm so glad that they finally switched over to that brush because I think it makes application so much easier. And all of the polishes retail for $14 USD each, or you can get the full collection box that comes with all 5 polishes, and that retails for $70 USD. So I'm gonna link that down in the description. You can check them out if you're interested, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on these. What do you think of the colors? Which is your favorite? What do you think of this sort of reddish, brownish color scheme going on for a space-themed collection? Leave it in the comments. We can chat about it. And if you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. I put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And of course, a huge shout out to my supporters on Patreon, my Royal Astronomer Amanda M, as well as my Cosmic Admirals Paula, Ken, Rosie, and Angel. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. I have a very appropriate fun fact for today. Today's fun fact question comes from a Patreon supporter, Sabrina, and Sabrina wants to know, if you could go to outer space, would you? Honestly, I feel like that's kind of a difficult question to answer because I love space. I would absolutely love in my lifetime if there was an opportunity for me to go into space. However, at the current point in time, if I had the opportunity to, I don't know if I would, just because I feel like I would rather wait until it's safer and more commercially available, and I don't know if it'll ever take less time, but I think that would also be great. But I mean, actually, honestly, if I got that opportunity tomorrow, I'd probably say yes, just because that would be insane. But I don't know, it's definitely something to think about, but I do think it would be really incredible if in my lifetime I had that opportunity. I'm always so curious to see if that's something that's going to happen. But yeah, if anybody else wants to answer that, you can also leave that in the comments and we can discuss. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.